What if the place you call home is the last thing keeping your spirit alive? What if that seemingly responsible decision is quietly stealing your dignity? And what if aging has never been about surrendering, but about holding on to what matters most? You have more control over your life than you think, even in how you live your final years. So I need you to listen carefully. If you or someone you love is being quietly moved into a nursing home, not because of urgent medical needs, but simply because it's the convenient option, then what I'm about to share is something you need to hear. Because what looks like a reasonable solution, what's often packaged and sold as a responsible choice, can silently and slowly strip away a person's dignity, their identity, their meaning. That path, that quiet slope that leads someone to become a smaller version of who they once were, is not a path anyone should be forced to walk, especially not the people who spent their lives building the world we live in today. I've spent decades studying human behavior, the meaning of life, and the roots of suffering. And if there's one truth I've learned again and again through those years, it's this: meaning is not found in ease. It's not found in comfort. Meaning is born from responsibility, from agency, from the right to choose. Even if that choice leads you into the chaos of life. Older people, even with weaker bodies, are not children. They are not burdens. They are living beings, rich with memory, rich with wisdom, and often still capable of shaping their own lives more than society gives them credit for. But then what happens? The world begins to treat them like broken machines. Slowness is mistaken for uselessness. Physical weakness is assumed to mean mental weakness. And choice by choice, decision by decision, piece by piece, their power is taken away. Sometimes under the mask of kindness. Sometimes through the indifference of bureaucracy. But the outcome is the same. People who were once proud, sharp, independent, active are now trapped in a strange kind of limbo. Surrounded by cold walls, restricted by rigid schedules, only visited on weekends if they're lucky. And the part no one says out loud, the truth that hurts most, is that some people simply give up. Let me be clear, not all nursing homes are wrong. There are cases where the level of care needed truly cannot be provided at home, and in those cases professional care is essential. But in far too many situations, that's not the case. In far too many lives, better options still exist. More humane solutions. Alternatives that preserve independence, protect dignity, and allow people to remain themselves, to keep contributing to their families, to their communities, and most importantly to themselves. Let me tell you a story. It's about a man named Arthur. He was 79 when I met him, a retired mechanic. Still sharp, still curious, still fixing engines in his garage. His legs were slower, his hands a little shaky, but his mind, his spirit, his story, still burned bright. His daughter, perhaps from a place of concern, was trying to convince him to enter a nursing home. She said he was forgetful. She said he was at risk, and it's true. He had once left the stove on. He had once fallen while gardening. But what she didn't see, what she couldn't see, was that taking him out of his home would also take away everything that made him who he was. Arthur didn't need a care facility. He needed support. Arthur didn't need a nursing home. He needed options. And when we explored those options together, everything began to change. He continued living in his own home for 6 more years, not just surviving, but truly living. He became healthier, more vibrant, and far happier than he would have been in a care facility. So what did Arthur choose? He chose what more and more older adults are choosing today. But only when they are given the full picture, when they are treated with respect, and when they are trusted to make their own decisions. One of those choices is called aging in place. It means staying in your home, surrounded by everything that still makes life yours. The photos, the familiar furniture, the worn floors that carry the weight of your stories, the familiar neighborhood sounds, the rhythm of daily life you've come to know, and that is no longer just a dream. Thanks to the growth of home care services, meal deliveries, smart home, technology, mobility aids, aging in place is now more realistic, more doable, and more empowering than ever. You can get help with the things that have become difficult. Shopping, bathing, taking medication, cleaning, all without giving up your autonomy. But the deepest truth lies in the emotional reality. Aging in place doesn't just meet physical needs, it strengthens your spirit. It preserves your identity. Because waking up in your own bed, walking through rooms marked by memory, making coffee in the same kitchen where your child once laughed, that matters. It ties your past to your present. It keeps your soul connected to something deeply meaningful. This isn't just comfort. This is spiritual strength. It gives your life a narrative that isn't interrupted by sudden dislocation. Of course, not everyone can live alone at home. And that's where another powerful option comes in. Co-housing or shared living with other seniors. And before you picture dorms or institutions, let me explain. This is not temporary shelter. These are intentional, vibrant living communities where older adults live together, share responsibilities, and build relationships grounded in respect and kinship. They cook together, they garden, they host book clubs, they debate politics over tea, and most importantly, they care for one another. This is not retirement. This is a tribe, a remedy for isolation, a return to how our ancestors lived for thousands of years, where aging brought value, not invisibility, where wisdom was passed down, not hidden away. In one such community I visited, there was a woman named Helen, 83 years old. She ran the shared kitchen like a master chef. She taught the younger residents in their 60s how to bake traditional sourdough. In return, they taught her how to use an iPad so she could video call her grandson overseas. That is dignity in action. That is give and take. Not charity, but contribution and connection. And if you value privacy, quiet, yet still want to be close to family and have help when needed, there's another smart option. An accessory dwelling unit, also known as a granny flat. These are small, independent homes built on a relative's property. You have your own space, your own door, your own schedule, but your family is just steps away when you need them. It creates a beautiful balance between independence and support, between freedom and connection. I have seen this change entire families. It changes the way people view aging. Suddenly, a grandparent is no longer a burden. They become a presence, a part of the gatherings, a part of the daily mess and joy of family life. It brings back the multi-generational model, without taking away anyone's freedom, and more than anything else, it addresses one of the quietest fears of aging, the fear of being forgotten. Another growing option is called the village movement, a movement of neighbors caring for neighbors. These are community networks created by older adults, for older adults, built on one powerful principle. We can take care of one another. You pay a small fee. In return, you gain access to volunteers, local services, transportation, home repairs, social activities, and much more. It is close-knit, personalized, and most importantly, empowering. I once spoke with a woman named Margaret, 76 years old, a member of such a program. When I asked what it did for her, she smiled. She said, "Yuki, it changed my life. Not because I needed someone to drive me around, though they did, but because for the first time in years, I felt seen, I felt connected. And that feeling of being connected, of being truly seen, that is where we go next. Because this story isn't just about living longer. It is about living better. Let me know when you're ready to turn the page. I will keep telling the story in this same voice, keeping your audience with us until the final moment. And Margaret, she didn't just feel supported, she felt valued. She felt like she belonged to something that honored her life, experiences, instead of casting them aside like outdated memories. And for those of you still holding on to curiosity, for those who still hear the faint call of the world out there, there's another path: retirement, travel, nomadic living. Yes, some people don't just survive aging, they thrive in it. Many retirees have chosen to sell their homes, downsize, and set off into the world. Some buy RVs and live on wheels. Some move abroad, to places with lower living costs, where life is slower, more community-driven, less rushed. Like in Portugal, Costa Rica, Thailand, these places have become havens for seniors, even on modest pensions. They enjoy high-quality living, surrounded by beauty, fresh food, warm sunlight, and rich culture. I met a man named Jack. He chose that path. He used to be a teacher. He didn't earn much. But after turning 70, he moved to a quiet seaside village in Ecuador. Rent was only $300 a month. Every morning, he walked along the beach. He volunteered teaching English at a nearby school. And one day he told me, "I haven't felt this free since I was 25. That freedom, that sense of purpose restored, made him feel more alive than any medicine ever could." And now, before we end, I want to speak directly to the caregivers, the sons and daughters watching this video, the spouses and loved ones worried about someone they care for. I know you're doing your best. I know you want safety, stability, peace of mind. But please don't let fear make the choice for you. Talk to them. Ask what they want, what they dream of, what still matters to them. Fight for different choices, not because it's easy, but because it's right. Because the greatest tragedy isn't that people grow old. It's that they grow old in a system that makes them feel like a burden instead of a gift. And if you are the older person watching this right now, please hear me. You are not done. You are not broken. You are not a faded version of who you once were. You are still the author of your life. No matter what the world tries to take from you, your speed, your strength, your old roles, you still have one thing no one can take: your choice. The right to decide how your story continues. Asking for help is not weakness. Wanting independence is not selfish. And rejecting a one-size-fits-all solution is not foolish. It is human. It is dignified, and it is your right. So don't accept easily. Don't agree just because someone handed you an option. Explore, question, demand better. The system might not change overnight, but your choice, your courage, your voice, they can ripple out, they can inspire, they can help redefine aging, not as decline, but as a new beginning, a new chapter of wisdom, connection, dignity. If this message touched you, if it helped you see aging in a new light, then don't keep it to yourself. Start the conversation in your home, in your neighborhood, and in your own heart. And if you want more messages like this, stories that challenge the status quo, that place meaning and truth at the center of every life, at every age, then subscribe to the channel, click like, share this video with someone who needs a spark of hope, and leave a comment. Tell us your story. We read every word. We respond. We truly care, because it's never too late. It's never too late to live with courage, to live with fire in your heart, to choose a life of dignity, a life of meaning. You deserve that. And now, stand for it, if you've made it to this point in the video. Thank you. It means you truly care, not just for yourself, but for the people you love. The journey ahead is long. There are many stories yet to be told, many truths that still need to be shared, and many better choices waiting to be seen. So, don't stop here. Click subscribe to stay with us as we redefine what aging can be. Hit like if this video moved you, and share it with someone who might need a little light. Don't forget to leave a comment below. Tell us your story. We read every line. we listen, and we truly care. Because living a life of dignity is never too late. If you've made it this far, thank you. It means you care. Not just for yourself, but for the ones you love. This journey is just beginning. There are still stories to tell, truths to uncover, and better choices waiting to be seen. So don't stop here. Hit subscribe to walk with us as we rewrite what aging truly means. Click like if this touched something in you. And please, share it with someone who might need a little light today. Don't forget to leave a comment. Tell us your story. We read every word, we listen, and we truly care, because it's never too late to live with dignity.